Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for our Germany with the Experts webinar today, featuring the German National Tourist Office and the tourist offices of Frankfurt, Stuttgart. So before we begin, please note this presentation is being recorded for educational purposes. At this time, all attendees are in listen-only mode. If you have a question at any time throughout this presentation, please type it in the GoToWebinar window and we'll answer it after the presentation. If there are specific questions that we can't answer or in the event we run out of time, we will have someone from our team reach out to you by email within 24 hours. So without further ado, we'll get started. So here we go. Guten Tag and welcome to Germany with the Experts Europe Express webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Rose Schwartz, Sales Manager for the North Central region for Europe Express. And today we have with us some very special guests. We have Carolyn, the West Coast Sales Manager for the German National Tourist Office, Jasmine, Marketing Director for the Frankfurt Tourism Board, and Nicole, Head of International Marketing for the Stuttgart Tourism Board. So before we invite our guests to present, let's learn a bit about Europe Express. At Europe Express, our name really says it all. We specialize in planning and booking extraordinary European independent vacations. 82% of Americans choose a combination of these 22 countries for their leisure vacations, and we can help you to book trips to all of them. As reported by AARP for 2018, baby boomers are looking for relaxing and rejuvenating vacations to get away from the norm, while younger generations are more likely than baby boomers to include the desire for adventure, to try something new, to improve their health. No matter your client's interests, we've got the range of hotels and sightseeing options to make their European vacation truly extraordinary. So these are the 5 pillars of the Europe Express philosophy and our position success in the travel marketplace. In a nutshell, we take absolute pride in saying that since 1990, we've worked exclusively with travel advisors to create fully customizable European itineraries for both FIT clients and group travelers. FIT itineraries include commission, and group itineraries may be quoted at net or gross commissionable, whichever is easiest for you. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulty. There's someone that's not muted. So could that maybe be Jasmine that's with us right now?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. May I just ask you to mute yourself for just a sec?
Will do.
Thank you so much. All right. So when your clients are traveling, our DMC in Barcelona is available in the same time zone to help if anything should go wrong. And they are the team dedicated to hand selecting our hotels and activity products. They stay at the hotels, they take the tours so that we can offer you the best experience for your clients. And our US reservations team consists of knowledgeable, passionate, and well-traveled reservation specialists. They've either lived, worked, or studied, and sometimes all 3, in countries throughout Europe, so they know our destinations and our products inside and out. What separates us from other suppliers is the ability to book multi-city and multi-country vacations. We understand that every itinerary is different, and we approach each one of them with the same care and dedication. Our customizable FIT itineraries are fully commissionable, and you can book online with live inventory or call our reservation experts 7 days a week. Some of our services can be booked individually, so if you and your clients would rather not book the entire itinerary with us, it's really not a problem. We also offer unique customized itineraries for groups of 10 or more adults traveling together. We've got the resources to handle all the logistics of your group vacations, from leisure and themed trips to school programs and pre and post stays. Each group has a designed and dedicated team responsible for booking, confirming, and communicating all aspects of the trip. We specialize in preformed and affinity groups. Preformed groups are those with pre-planned itineraries and set traveler lists, but need logistical help. These are typically educational groups, families traveling for a reunion, or a large group heading off on a cruise. Affinity groups, on the other hand, are pre-associated with certain organizations, for example, a club or church or community group. Again, groups can be quoted at net or commissionable. Our office in Barcelona is a phenomenal resource to help us communicate with and provide support for you and for your clients. The 24/7 emergency line lets us address any issue as soon as it comes up, and will assign a dedicated operator to each group to make sure the trip runs smoothly. The team in Barcelona is also responsible again for hand selecting the products and services based on their firsthand experience. So what specifically can you book through Europe Express? Well, everything. We'll take you through the different services we offer and then help you get started. So for FIT itineraries, we pay you 5% commission on air, no matter the class of service. We have contracts with all the major carriers, 17 in total, into and out of Europe. For groups, we'll help you manage the fulfillment, utilization, and deadlines around those flights. When you can book your clients' flights through us, we can help you take care of any aspect of the trip that is directly affected by these flights. Hotels, everyone has their own idea of a perfect hotel. To some clients, your hotel is the most important part of the trip, and they care much less about the sightseeing. They prefer to spend the money on the hotel. Other clients, however, just care about the hotel basics, a clean and safe environment with a bed. We've got that product range to give your clients exactly what they want. We contract villas, castles, B&Bs, posadas, 3 to 5-star hotels. With sightseeing, everyone has a different opinion of what they want to experience during their trip, and we can cater to every one of your clients' interests. We have over 600 sightseeing options, from basic hop-on, hop-off tours to fast-track entrances. Special interest tours such as beer and wine or history and culture can also be arranged. For transfers, we offer shared, private, and executive transfers. We've got the transfer options to make sure your clients get safely from the airport to the hotel, from the hotel to the train station, or wherever it is they need to go. For cars, your adventure-seeking clients can book a car with us, and these can be Europe Express offers an exclusive agreement with Enterprise. So what I was trying to say is that clients must be 25 years or older and up to 74 years of age to rent a vehicle. Now, with rail, clients, when they choose to go to Europe, odds are they will travel by train at some point during their stay. It's easy, quick, affordable, and scenic, and not to mention eco-friendly, multi-generational, and let's face it, a bit romantic. Europe Express partners with Rail Europe, and we have all of their live inventory loaded into our system. We can arrange point-to-point tickets, most all-inclusive of seat reservations, on high-speed domestic and international routes, as well as intercity, Eurocity, and regional routes in second, first, or premier categories. Rail can be added to any inclusive package, providing the land components are a minimum of 2.5 times the rail cost. As I've always said in webinars over the past number of years, we as North Americans like our space, and we like to travel with a lot of luggage. So for the absolute best European rail experience, add the first and or premier tickets or first class rail pass to your client's itinerary. First class offers wider, more comfortable seats, where on most trains there's never a middle seat, and offering a 2-in-1 configuration. So now that you know a little bit about Europe Express and the products and services we offer, let's hear from our partners on destinations that we can help you to add to your client's itinerary. We'll start with Carolyn from the German National Tourist Office. Carolyn, I'm going to go ahead and make you presenter.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm unmuted now. Welcome, welcome. My name is Carolyn Belcher, and I'm the West Coast Sales Manager of the German National Tourist Office. This is not my Los Angeles accent. I'm actually German, born and raised in Germany, in the state of Hesse, which is right in the middle of Germany, 2 hours north of Frankfurt, in a town called Kassel. And I'm super excited that we got invited from Europe Express today to be on this webinar, sharing about our beautiful country, Germany. And I am excited to have my partners from Frankfurt and Stuttgart with me today to share about their amazing cities. So let me get started. Before I'm going to go into the topic, I wanted to say thank you to all of you that are on the phone today. Look at this number. We have a 7.1% increase of overnights from the US travel to Germany. This is huge. Thank you for keep sending your clients over to our country to just give them an experience of a lifetime. Germany, they will come back with a lot of great memories. and I'm sure they will come back because our country is so diverse and different. Wherever you go, you will find a new thing to explore and to make memories. I want to give you a little bit of general Germany information. Maybe some of you know a lot about Germany already, and maybe some don't know anything. So let me get started. You see, this is the map of Germany. We have 16 federal states. We are surrounded by 9 other countries. We have the North and the Baltic Sea in the north, which is great because we have beautiful islands up there to visit. And we have the Alps in the south. Our biggest state is Bavaria, with the capital of Munich, which you see in the south. And then we have the smallest state, that is Bremen. You see this little yellow dot on Lower Saxony, which is like northwest. This is our smallest state. And of course, our capital is Berlin. We have approximately 80 million people living in Germany. We have about 484 nonstop flights per week going from 35 US gateways to Germany. Of course, you all know, you're professionals, these numbers keep changing all the time. Some airlines come and offer more flights, some will fall off planet Earth and don't provide any more services. But this is, and then you have the winter-summer schedule, but this is around about 484 nonstop flights. Lufthansa launched a new route from Frankfurt to San Diego nonstop and vice versa, of course, which is really great for us here on the West Coast. It's a good alternative to Los Angeles. When your clients are in Europe, how do they get to Germany? They can take the plane, the train, the coach, car, ferry. There's really no excuse to not stop by in our beautiful country. When your clients are in Germany, how do they get around? I honestly have to say I love the train system in Germany. I love the ICE train that you see here on this picture. It's our high-speed train that connects really every big city with each other. I have never owned a car in Germany. Always took the train, and when we fly to Germany, we as my kids and I, they always make sure when we fly into Frankfurt that my parents are not picking us up, so we have to take the train up to Kassel. They love it. They sit in it. We have food. They have a great restaurant. You can drink wine, beer, sodas, tea, coffee, enjoy the scenery. They're running up and down in the train. There's a lot of room, good room for luggage as well, so it's a really convenient way of traveling. We have a new train that connects Berlin and Munich, two cities that couldn't be more diverse, in under 4 hours, 3 hours and 55 minutes to be exact. So you can combine those two cities in one day, and that's with the ICE number 4. That's the 4th generation. Of course, they can take a bus, a subway, any kind of public transportation. And who hasn't dreamt of driving a BMW, Porsche, Mercedes on a German Autobahn where you have no speed limit? It's absolutely possible. We have lots of great rental car stations everywhere in Germany. Just make sure your clients are aware of the rules on the Autobahn. We love driving fast. So the left lane is the fast lane. That's where you pass others that are slower, and you're not hanging out there taking pictures and posting them on Instagram. You will have an Audi in the back of your trunk trying to push you over. But it's a really great way to travel around in Germany. When your clients are in Germany, what are they going to do? They can do anything from horseback riding, golfing, surfing, wine tasting, beer tasting, Segway tours. We have a blimp they can take, and in the south of Bavaria. So lots of great activities in Germany. We have amazing operas. This one, for example, is from Frankfurt and Opera. If they don't have time to actually see an opera piece, tell them to please go inside and look at the opera. The architecture is amazing. The acoustic is fantastic. It's absolutely worth a visit to an opera. This is a theater in Stuttgart. If they want to see a musical, a concert, absolutely possible. We have in every big city a theater for sure for your clients. We do have casinos as well. They're not like the Las Vegas casinos. Those are really high-end Monte Carlo experiences. Probably very known are the one in Wiesbaden and Baden-Baden. Gentlemen have to dress up, suit and tie. Women have to wear a gown if possible, and you have to bring your passport. It's really a great experience, absolutely different to what we know. We have over 6,000 museums in Germany. There's literally for every taste a museum. If it's a chocolate museum in Cologne, if it's a currywurst museum in Berlin, we have. I remember as a child, my parents brought me to Munich to the Deutsche Museum, which is the largest science and technology museum, and I was blown away. You can touch everything, do everything, and every little village even has a small museum that you can look at. We have a great history to present. You know probably that we make some really, really great cars, such as Mercedes, BMW, VW, Porsche. And I don't want to go too much into detail because I know Nicole will share a little bit more about our museums. But I wanted to point out that if you ever need any sample itineraries, you know, you have a client that comes in and says, I want to see all the car museums in Germany, and you have no idea what else to do and where to send them, please let me know. I send you sample itineraries with all the information on there. That also counts for any kind of regions or cities or other interests that you need. That's what we're here for, and we're happy to provide you this. This is a great slide I always love to show. The value for the money in Germany. As you see, Berlin has an average hotel rate at 97 euros per night. That's about $110 compared to the other big major European cities. It's very affordable. Berlin has more hotel beds than New York City, and that's why they can give you this kind of price. So if Paris, London, Rome is full, please send them over to us. I'm sure we will have a room for them. And to dive a little bit more into some topics about Germany, I chose today the traditions and customs of Germany. We have, of course, a huge tradition is our food and especially our bread. As you see, we have 300 different types of bread. That does not even count the rolls we're having. We're going into over 1,000 if we add those to it. We have 5,000 different types of beer. We all brew our own beer, kind of. And we have 1,500 different sausages. Every region has their own sausage, and some are really 600-year-old recipes that are protected and nobody knows what's in it. We just know it tastes really delicious. Lots of fairs and markets, and of course, over 2,000 traditional custom societies. Let's talk about living traditions. Maybe you know in the background the picture. This is from our Oktoberfest that takes place every year in Munich. It's very famous. This year it's from September 21st to October 6th, and we have millions of people from all over the world coming to join us. This is really fun. This is very known in the Rhineland. It's our fifth season, we call it. It's a carnival. We're very serious about it, and it starts on 11/11 at 11:11 a.m. and it ends on Ash Wednesday. And the Rhineland goes wild and crazy. You have floats, parades, parties every weekend, and it's a sad, sad day on Ash Wednesday when they have to end this. Many of you probably know the Oberammergau Passion Play that takes place every 10 years in a tiny, beautiful town, Oberammergau in Bavaria. They're getting ready to perform again next year, and they're welcoming 500,000 visitors from all over the world during that time. Starts May 16th till October 4th, and it's a great play for sure. Another tradition is Easter. The Sorbian people have played a large part in shaping the culture and history. It's despite being Europe's smallest Slavic minority, the Sorbs continue to make their mark on the region, and they have Easter as a special occasion for them, and they wear their traditional costumes and play their music, and it's a big part of that area, Saxony. Hamburg has the port anniversary. Actually happens this weekend. I just looked it up, May 10th to the 12th. Since 1977, they celebrate that every year, and it's with huge fireworks and eating and celebrating and music, and everybody brings their boats out. It's really great. Let's dive into the culinary specialties, my favorite topic, like this pretzel. I would love to have that right now. They're very yummy. We have over 300 Michelin star rated restaurants. This is really great. I just ate for the first time in Germany at a 2-star rated restaurant. And I have to say, if this is not on your client's bucket list, put it on there, because I do believe everybody should experience at least once a Michelin star rated restaurant. You connect with the people, you connect with the food. We socialize through food. We Germans, we don't order you pizza. We cook and we present it, and we're proud, and there's a story behind the food, and that's what you get. It's really amazing. just like our currywurst. It's a national dish, and we have 800 million currywursts are eaten every year in Germany, and about 70 million just in Berlin. And you literally get them from heavenly to absolute hellish. And we have 20 different types of currywurst. The Dresden Christstollen, this is our Christmas bread. We eat it all during November to December. We love this bread. It's made out of nuts, spices, dried fruit, and then the powdered sugar. I love to put a thick layer of butter on top of it, and it is delicious, and it dates back to the 15th century, actually. You probably know the Black Forest cake, one of our most famous exports, and it's delicious. And look how the kids look like. They love the whipped cream and the cherries, and it's really, really yummy. I put this on there because I'm from Hessen, and I love the Frankfurter. That's for me my most delicious sausage. It comes in a pear, and it's not a hot dog. This is the Frankfurter. If you had a fresh Frankfurter wiener, you know the difference between a hot dog and this. It's really, really delicious. Of course, we make great wine as well. We're not just a beer country. We do make some really good wine. You can do tours in those wine regions as well. Arts and crafts is big in Germany too. We have good porcelain companies coming from Germany, and you can book tours for your clients in those factories as well. The cuckoo clock, I never knew was that famous. I learned this when I moved away from Germany to America, that this is a really famous thing and popular thing in the US. And of course, it's from the Black Forest area. And this one I put in here because it reminds me of my childhood all the time. And I'm telling you, as annoyed as I was as a child that my parents schlepped us from one glassmaking house in Bavaria to the next one, it is absolutely amazing. You can, if you're in Bavaria, go in one of those houses and see how they're made. It's mind blowing, and you can buy the glasses and the vases there. It's really, really a great experience and very typical for the Bavarian area. The Spree Forest is very known. Brandenburg is the state. Potsdam is the capital, which is a place with lots of palaces, parks, etc. But then you have the Spree Forest here, which is an oasis. And this picture you see, this is a tiny, beautiful village, Lede, where the mail actually is still getting delivered by boat. Time stood still in this peaceful part of Germany. And I'm almost done. I just want to show you our themes for this year, next year. This year, of course, we're celebrating 100 years of Bauhaus, which is an architectural movement that was founded by Walter Gropius. I can't believe that we're already at our 30-year anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. This is absolutely amazing. So this year. And then we have 2020, what I already mentioned is the Oberammergau Passion Play. And we're celebrating the 250th birthday of Ludwig van Beethoven. Please visit our website, germany.travel. We have great information for you guys on there. Whatever you need information on, put it in the search box. It comes up. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We're everywhere. And you can sign up for our newsletter. And please, please, please feel free to reach out if you ever need anything in regards of Germany. Thank you so much for being on here today. And I am excited to hear now from Jasmine about the beautiful city of Frankfurt. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I don't get any button to share the screen, Rose or Danielle?
No, Jasmine, I'm sorry, but because you're coming in as an attendee versus a panelist,
Okay.
Carolyn was going to have to show your screen for you.
Okay,
so she's going to do that, and you can just tell her when to change the slide, if that's okay.
Okay, perfect. That's
fine. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, Thank you for joining us. And yeah, I had some difficulties at the beginning, therefore, but I made it at least to join. And yeah, my name is Jess. I'm facing, can you hear me? I'm facing problems with the mute.
Sorry, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me all the time.
I can hear you. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Yeah, I'd first like to give you an overview on Frankfurt and the location in Germany. We are located in the heart of Germany, as you see on the map. And the airport of Frankfurt is the biggest hub in Germany and number 3 in Europe. We are connected into about 290 destinations worldwide, and we offer non-stop flights to all major US American cities, with all airlines such as American, United, Lufthansa, Singapore, whatever. We are connected to all major German cities and European cities, not only by plane, but as well by train and, of course, by highway, with the famous German highway. Next slide. Caroline? Okay. From Germany, I would like to fly with you together into Frankfurt and give you the overview on the city of Frankfurt. First of all, what you see on the left corner is our main train station. From the airport to get to the main train station, it's quite easy. You could go by train within 10 minutes. There are trains every 10 minutes, and you can't just miss it. It's always on track 1 from the airport, and only takes you 10 minutes to get downtown. And from the main train station to get to the historic city center, which you just see in the middle of the slide of the picture, you could do it in a walking distance within only 10 minutes. And as well, there are trains and trams and tubes as well. So it's really easy to get around in Frankfurt. Anyway, Frankfurt is quite a small city. It's all in a walking distance compared, for example, to cities such as Berlin or as well Cologne or Munich. Frankfurt is really small, and you can do almost everything by walking. And if I would start a day in Frankfurt, I would first of all go to the Main Tower. From there, you have a great panoramic view all over the city and get an idea on where you are and what you see. From the Main Tower, next thing I would do, I would go to the city center, to the historic part of Frankfurt, and, for example, visit St. Paul's Church, which is the cradle of German democracy, or go to the cathedral, which is the place where the holy Roman emperors have been crowned in the Middle Ages. And as well, you could see then there the most famous place in Frankfurt, the Römerberg, which is the most touristic place as well. As you see, it's located directly at the River Main, and the Eiserne Steg is an iron bridge, a historic iron bridge, from where you have a panoramic view as well, and from where all the boat tours, panoramic boat tours of 1 hour start. What you see there as well is when you cross the Eiserne Steg, you'll get to Sachsenhausen. That's where you get all the traditional dishes in Frankfurt. I'll come to that later. And on the left-hand side, you'll see our museum embankment. Regarding that, I'll come to that later as well. Just close to the main train station, for those who do business travel, there's our trade fair. And all in the east of Frankfurt, that's for families. When you are on your way with families, you have the Frankfurt Zoo and the Botanical Garden as well. Could you go to the next slide, Caroline? Okay. Takes a moment, I think. Okay. Yeah, Frankfurt offers a comprehensive cultural landscape. Caroline mentioned already, Germany is a cultural city, Frankfurt as well. We have 60 museums. And what you saw before, our museum embankment, this is a row of museums located at the River Main, and it's like 25 museums in a row, which you could visit with a museum ticket, for example. As well, you should visit our opera, which is a prize-winning opera, and the English theater is the biggest English theater on the European continent. Next slide. Cultural highlights coming up in the next 2 years. That's, for example, we have some new or reopenings of museums in Frankfurt, such as, for example, the Struwwelpeter Museum that is opening this summer already. That's the Shock-Headed Peter. And a real huge reopening will be one of our 2 Jewish museums will be opening by the middle of next year, or already maybe the beginning of next year, after a big expansion. And some real highlight will be our MOMEM, Museum of Modern Electronic Music, dedicated to techno music, that will be opening next summer. And some exhibition highlights, it's just really in total, we have a real huge number of highlights of exhibitions coming up in Frankfurt. I just took out 3 here on the slide. That's Lee Krasner by the end of this year. There will be a huge Van Gogh exhibition by the end of this year and Rembrandt coming up next year. But a full list of exhibitions you will find on our website. Next slide. Yeah. As for culinary in Frankfurt, we offer quite a lot as well. We have some traditional dishes in Frankfurt, such as, for example, the green sauce, which you see on the picture here. The green sauce is our signature dish. The sauce is served cold and it's made from 7 herbs coming from our region. And traditionally, it's served with boiled eggs and boiled potatoes, but as well, you get it, of course, with a good schnitzel. And then our most famous drink. You know that Germany is famous for beer. Frankfurt is not. We are famous for apple wine. Apple wine is like a kind of a cider, but it's way more sour and it's stronger as well, and you have to get used to it. But I think in summer there's nothing better than a good glass of cider, maybe with sparkling water. Frankfurt as well is famous for weekly farmers markets. Those markets are not only the place to go shopping for regional products, but as well they are a meeting point to meet friends, to have a taste of something regional, and to just be together and enjoy the day. And as well, of course, for those who love fine dining, we have Michelin star restaurants as well. Next slide. Frankfurt loves to celebrate. We have a huge number of events and festivals throughout the year. There is almost every day there is another event. We have cultural events, culinary events, for example, dedicated to our apple wine or to the green sauce. We have music events, sports events, and what you see on the slide or on the picture, that's our famous Frankfurt Christmas market. That takes place every year in winter. And the full list of that as well, you'll find on our website. And then next slide, we come to our, what I mentioned before, to our new old town. What happened in Frankfurt in the last 10 years was something really special. As Frankfurt was destroyed in the Second World War, as many other German cities, there was a huge part just beside the Römerberg in the middle of the city center that was directly after the World War, first of all, a parking lot, and then they built kind of a technical city hall. About 10 years ago, they saw that they had to tear it down because it was rotten, it was broken, and they were thinking about what to build on that place. And so they decided to reconstruct the historic city center as it was before the Second World War. They found original plans, and so they rebuilt the historic city center with 15 original reconstructions. They found the original plans and 20 new buildings that fit in the full picture. And it was finished last year in May, officially opened last year in September with a big ceremony. And now it's just a district of Frankfurt, which you can visit. You can go through it, stroll through it, visit a restaurant or a bar, which is in there. People live there, but you can as well visit it in a 1-hour guided tour. And they explain you what was formerly in the houses, what was found in those houses, who lived there. It's really an interesting part. Next slide. And then if you are coming to Frankfurt as an individual traveler, I'd recommend to do that with a Frankfurt card. It offers free travel on all public transportation. We give commission to the travel industry, and you get it as a print-at-home version, or as well you can just get it at our tourist information. It as well gives you discounts on all sites in Frankfurt. As for one-day excursions, on the next slide, sorry, I'd recommend to go to our region, to our surrounding region, for example, to the romantic Rhine Valley. You can do that in a one-day excursion just an hour away from Frankfurt and visit the romantic Rhine. For example, Rüdesheim would be an option. You can see all the fairy tale castles. You can do a wine tasting with the famous Riesling wine, or just do a panoramic boat tour over there. And to do that, I'd recommend to go there with a Frankfurt Rhine-Main card, and that's on the next slide. It's a same card like the Frankfurt card, but it's valid for the whole region, not only to the Romantic Rhine, but as well to the north or to the south of Frankfurt. It's a district of about 100 kilometers, and you could go all over there with that one card, and it's really easy. And then we come to the last slide. If you would like to go to another one-day excursion, all those cities marked on the map in blue, they can be reached within 1 hour from Frankfurt by train, for example. One of those cities is Stuttgart. Nicole will tell you a little bit more about Stuttgart. And I just like to hand over to her, but before that, I'd like to say really sorry for that really improvised presentation. I'm really sorry about that. If you have any further questions at the end or later on, just contact me anytime and I can give you any other information or any further information or itinerary you might need on Frankfurt. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Nicole, I'm going to go ahead and make you presenter now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, hello everybody. Thank you, Jasmine, for the presentation of Frankfurt. So probably you already know that Frankfurt is quite close to Stuttgart, only 1 hour and 20 minutes by high-speed train from Frankfurt to Stuttgart. So my name is Nicole, and I'm very happy to introduce to you the vibrant city of Stuttgart. So as you probably know, Stuttgart is the capital city of the state Baden-Württemberg, and the location of Stuttgart is there where you can see the Mercedes. Why the Mercedes? Well, Stuttgart is famous for its car history and industry. Why? Because actually it is the birthplace of the automobile. So back in 1886, at around the same time, Mr. Gottlieb Daimler and Mr. Benz were working on a new invention. And this invention is called the motor car. So thanks to this groundbreaking invention, visitors in Stuttgart can follow the steps of the automotive history, such as, for example, to visit in the garden house where Mr. Daimler was working on this invention in complete secrecy. And did you know that, for example, Mrs. Bertha Benz made the first test drive without the knowledge of her husband? So that's what I actually call girl power, and I love this part of the history actually. This is, here you can see on this picture, you can see, for example, the shed where he's working on this invention. Both companies, Porsche and Mercedes, they offer plant tours. And yeah. So not to forget both car museums, the Mercedes-Benz Museum and the Porsche Museum. So the bigger building on the left-hand side is the Mercedes-Benz Museum. And next to it on this picture, they're not that close to each other, is the Porsche Museum. So both museums are quite unique worldwide because these museums are run by the brand in itself. So you won't find any other Porsche museum or Mercedes-Benz museum owned by the company in itself. So the Mercedes-Benz Museum, what you can see here on the picture, shows what impact the invention of the car had on the world history. So the museum is not only a must-see for car lovers. The exhibition area has 9 floors, so you can easily spend 3 to 4 hours in the museum. It also has a big souvenir shop as well as a nice restaurant. So the Porsche Museum is also, as you can see here in the picture, another architectural highlight. It gives an insight of this great brand. The museum displays about 80 vehicles, all owned by the family of Porsche, and visitors can also see how the mechanics do their work through a glass workshop. That's quite interesting. What is also possible is to hire your dream Porsche directly in the museum for 1 hour or up to 1 day and go along the Autobahn. So a lot of people think, okay, Stuttgart, it's an industrial city due to the factories, what we have, but it is a very green city. So this picture has been only taken about 5 minutes away from the Stuttgart city center. So the Stuttgart area belongs to a very strong economic area, but you couldn't tell seeing this picture.
So actually, Stuttgart, the city in itself, is located in a valley and it is surrounded by little hills, which offer fantastic views. We even have vineyards which reach down to the city center. As you can see on this picture has been taken from the main train station. So the main train station obviously is in the city center, and you look left and right and you can see vineyards. So these houses in the hillside are very popular and yes, not that cheap. So nice beer gardens and restaurants are in the hillside, so they offer great panoramic views. And guests and people from Stuttgart, they love to go for little hikes and stop in the beer garden or even in the vineyards for little wine tastings. So this picture shows the heart of the city. It is the Palace Square. It's surrounded by palaces, cafes, and nice restaurants, and also a pedestrian precinct, which is a quite long one in comparison to other German cities. This picture, for example, shows the old castle. So one of the palaces surrounded the heart of the city, the Palace Square, is called the Old Castle. It was a former water fortress and now accommodates the Württemberg State Museum. And it has a beautiful courtyard. Actually, during Christmas times in the courtyard, there are beautiful concerts taking place. So the atmosphere is really fantastic. And quite close also to the city center is the beautiful Palace Solitude, a nice escape from the bustling city center in Stuttgart. Also, living history can be taken in Ludwigsburg. Ludwigsburg is about 9 miles away from Stuttgart, and the Ludwigsburg Palace is one of the most largest Baroque buildings in Europe to survive in its original condition. The beautiful gardens from different eras round off the Ludwigsburg experience. So actually, this palace has 452 rooms. They also offer guided tours, also costumed tours, so it's a great experience. So we definitely have to talk also about food, about local food. So Stuttgart has about 10 Michelin star restaurants in Stuttgart in itself, an enormous number for only one city. Including the Stuttgart region, the numbers rises up to 19 restaurants with a Michelin star. But a must-taste are also the diverse local specialities, such as, for example, the Maultaschen. These are like pasta squares filled with spinach and minced meat, and these can be tasted in the several wine taverns in Stuttgart and the surrounding region. So the history of the city was always linked with wine. Now, local vintners are regularly awarded prizes for their wines. The state capital is the only German city to own 17 hectares of municipal vineyards. The little and bigger wine festivals throughout the year are a perfect way to meet the locals and enjoy the great wines. So Caroline also told you about the Oktoberfest, so everybody knows the Oktoberfest, but did you know that Stuttgart also has a beer festival? Actually, last year we were celebrating 200 years of the Stuttgart Beer Festival. So the tents have a capacity for up to 5,000 people. The festival takes place every year, starting in the end of September until mid of October. And still, somehow, the organizers have managed to keep the familiar and friendly atmosphere during this festival. So the summer festival is also very popular. It's a very elegant festival directly on the Palace Square in the city center. It takes place in August. Music performances, culinary delights, romantic illumination give the festival its very special flair. Also, obviously, a great place to get in touch and meet the locals. So at the Stuttgart Wine Village, visitors can taste over 500 exquisite wines from Württemberg. The tastefully decorated wine arbors offer also local food specialties. The historical setting where the wine village takes place invites visitors for a very delightful afternoon or evening. So every big city in Stuttgart, or even the smaller cities, have Christmas markets. We obviously also have a Christmas market, and on the left-hand side, you can see the picture of the courtyard of the old palace I introduced to you earlier. So the atmosphere is really special. But also the Stuttgart Christmas market is worth a visit. So every year there's a big contest between the stall owners who has the nicest booth. So you can imagine that the decorations get bigger and more, more festive every year. So if one Christmas market is not enough, I definitely would suggest to go to Esslingen. Esslingen is a little bit a smaller town, about 10 minutes by train from Stuttgart. It has a medieval city center. It also has a normal Christmas market, but also the more interesting part is the medieval Christmas market. So it is really a must-see because the people which work there, they imitate former times. So you can see fire spitters, fire shows. They imitate the food, what they were serving in former times. So it's really a fascinating spirit. So also the people which work there during that time, they really live that time. So they have it more or less in their DNA. And I think privately they also prefer that way of living. So architecture lovers also can enjoy Stuttgart as well. They can experience the exemplary housing program for modern urban residents from 1927. So that's the Weissenhof estate, that's the name, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So also for FITs, we always recommend to do the city tour by with our hop on hop off tour. So that's probably the most comfortable way to explore the city. We have two different routes to combine, and they all include the main tourist attractions in Stuttgart. Accompanied by the Stuttgart, the city card rounds off actually the experience for individual travelers. So they don't have to pay anything. They just have their city card, including public transport, so they don't have to pay any trains or something. So it's very easy. Also, due to the location of Stuttgart, since it is located in a valley, everything is within easy reach, and also the public transport system is really quite good. So if you have customers which prefer travel in groups or smaller groups or prefer tailor-made programs, we also have our group department, and they're more than happy to provide individual itineraries. For example, hiring an old-timer coach, wine tasting in the vineyards. We have culinary evening walks. We have Segway tours through the vineyards, for example, taster tours with e-bikes. We have cooking classes, how to learn the Maultaschen, how to produce the Maultaschen, and afterwards you can enjoy the Maultaschen dinner you produce by your own with great wine, for example, and a lot more. So I was talking about the location of Stuttgart. So I would say Stuttgart is quite good located. It's very close to Frankfurt, very close to Frankfurt Airport, quite close to Munich. And the most beautiful areas in Germany are just a stone's throw away. For example, the beautiful Black Forest area. The picture shows the typical farmer houses of the Black Forest area. It's only about 1.5 hours. Or the beautiful fairy tale castle Hohenzollern, which is also only 1.5 hours away from Stuttgart. We also have quite close the Lake of Constance, where you can hire a boat, for example. You can go on a boat trip, travel to have lunch in Switzerland, go back on the boat again. Then the boat takes you to Austria, where you can have coffee, and you can come back in to Germany. So everything in one day, because 3 countries come together at the Lake of Constance. So talking about the distances, Heidelberg, Stuttgart by train, only 60 minutes. Frankfurt, Stuttgart, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Munich, Stuttgart is very close, 2 hours and 30 minutes. And even Paris, Stuttgart by train, high-speed train, 3 hours and 11 minutes. So that's also quite close. Zurich, for example, also quite close. So that was it in a nutshell. I hope I was not rushing through that fast. So there's, of course, a lot to see and to do in Stuttgart, but I was just picking out the highlights, and I'm more than happy to answer questions later on. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you, ladies. I'm going to share my screen once more. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about Europe Express again. So before I do that, again, ladies, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having some apple wine in Frankfurt and some Maultaschen in Stuttgart. Absolutely. So I'm going to show my screen here, getting started with Europe Express. You can register online as an agent, and you can designate your home address as your address for document delivery. There are 3 easy ways to get a quote from us. You can submit a quote online, you can explore the agent website, and you can also call our travel specialists. So you can subscribe to our newsletter. Where am I? Why is it not working for me? Hang on a second, guys. Sorry about that. This happened to me the last time. I don't know why that's doing this to me. I am really sorry about this. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I do apologize for the delay in this. Oh my goodness. Sorry, y'all. Just 1 more second. I was working on the admin part of this and answering all your questions while we were doing the presentation, so it's hard for me to go back to where I was. Okay, so I said again, getting started. If you're an independent contractor, please make sure that you're putting your agency, your home address is your agency address so that your documents get delivered to you directly. You can also subscribe to our newsletter online. I do recommend that you subscribe to our newsletter because you're going to be getting information on new product, discontinued product, how to register for a FAM. We have flyers, so not only flyers for your education, but if you're having a travel show in your office, you can certainly print up some of these flyers and put your agency information on them. We also have city guides. Now the city guides we have specifically for places in Germany where your clients can get information on the actual destination, from the hotels through what to do and what to see, the restaurants, etc. So it's really great information that we have at your fingertips. Our sales team is available for you at any time. If you have any questions, if you need a presentation within your office, if you just reach a stumbling blocks, we can certainly help you out with that. We do have consortia groups and partners, so we are affiliated with all of these consortia members, as well as USTOA, ASTA, and IATA. And I did mention that our FIT department is open 7 days a week. So if you are booking online, you need some additional assistance, maybe you need someone to help you out and put a special request hotel in or special sightseeing into your quote, we can certainly do that for you. The FIT department can be reached at 800-927-3876. Groups 5 days a week at 800-565-7236. Now, we are a little bit over time here, so I'm going to go and get some questions that you had for the ladies. Ladies, are you ready to answer some questions?
Sure.
Okay,
Yes,
excellent.
of course.
Okay, good, because we do have actually a lot of them, and I'm just going to try to pick some of the really great ones here. So maybe for Carolyn, are there any specific events in regard to the 30th celebration of the Fall of the Wall?
I would have to actually look that up. I have an event list. I do know in Berlin there's going to be something. There are going to be special exhibits and museums for sure. But if the advisor would like to reach out to me, I can absolutely, or I get the list later anyways, and I can send the event list out.
Perfect, perfect. And we'll actually send that along in the email that we send to all the participants who joined the call today. So, Jasmine, how much of Frankfurt was able to be preserved after World War II? Are you still with us? I don't hear her. Okay, well, let's go to the next question. So where would be the ideal area for tourists to stay and best explore these cities? Nicole, maybe you can help us out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. Probably the best way is to fly into Frankfurt and then do the Frankfurt thing, and then after you have spent some time in Frankfurt, then travel to Stuttgart. I would actually recommend that. Otherwise, you would be quite in the middle of nowhere, although it's quite close. But that's what probably I would recommend, to first be, do the Frankfurt stuff and then travel to Stuttgart. Yeah.
Okay, great. There was in a couple of the first slides that Carolyn had showed us, something was mentioned about some societies. Is that correct, Carolyn? Did we miss something? There was a question from Lewis on that. I don't know if you missed something.
About the Serbians? What is his question?
It could be. It says here, I thought she said custom societies. So I don't know if there's something that was mentioned on that. Again, I was answering a number of other questions at the time, so I wasn't unfortunately paying attention.
And he wanted to know something about that in specific?
Yeah, I just said, I thought she said custom societies. So was there anything that you mentioned in regard to that?
No, but I'm going to look through my presentation again and can get back to him.
Okay.
I don't know what he's referring to.
Perfect, perfect. And then maybe just one last question before we end it. We do have some attendees that are leaving, but what is the minimum nights that you would recommend for Hamburg, Berlin, Munich, Stuttgart, and Frankfurt if your clients are planning a trip to all of those cities? My answer would be 2 weeks, but at least 2 weeks.
I mean, I would always say you should at least have 2 days. I mean, these are big cities, and I would highly recommend to stay 2 nights in each city. So I'm not sure how many cities there were, like 5.
Yeah,
so definitely have a 10-day, and it really, and that's just for the city itself. There's surrounding areas which you can spend another day and have your base in, for example, in Munich, and then go to Obermagau and Garmisch-Partenkirchen and always come back to Munich. But yeah, it's definitely a minimum of 10 days.
Absolutely. I agree with you completely. We do have some other questions, but we don't have time. So I'm going to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day to learn about Germany, Frankfurt, and Stuttgart in particular. This wraps up the questions. Again, I thank you for your attendance. Until our next webinar, I wish you successful selling. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.